What's good, guys? This is Lesky and I have another playstyle tutorial for y'all in FC25. A lot of y'all really seem to like this series, so I'm going to try to make as many of these videos as I can. I've seen quite a bit of request for Bruiser, so that's the playstyle we'll be looking at today. I'll be showing everything y'all need to know about Bruiser and the best ways to use it. After you're done watching this video, I suggest taking a look at the other playstyle tutorials I've made. I even created a playlist where you can check them all out. My goal for these videos is to share my knowledge of the game in hopes that each of you can become a better player. Throughout this video, I'll be showing y'all clubs gameplay of me using Bruiser, but of course, all the information in this video will be helpful for any game mode you play in FC25. For those of you who play clubs, I just posted a crazy Bruiser Plus CDM build that y'all can use to test out the tips that I'll be providing in this video. Make sure to check out that video if you haven't already. So let's get started, and the very first thing I want to mention is a game setting you need to make sure you have turned on. It's called Advanced Defending, and what it does is it will let you use the A button on Xbox or the X button on PlayStation to utilize the Bruiser playstyle. This is extremely important, and if you haven't already been using Advanced Defending, I'd highly recommend switching to it. Without Advanced Defending, the only way to use Bruiser is by pressing the same button as your stand tackle button, which isn't ideal because the game will basically decide for you if your player is going to stand tackle or do a Bruiser tackle. As you can see in the description on the right, it says Tactical Defending allows you to time your tackles and maintain your position. It will contextually choose, depending on a player's position, between a stand tackle and a more physical tackle when the B button is pressed. So that's kind of like the default defending setting, but Advanced Defending is the one you'll definitely want if you want to have the most success with Bruiser. It says Advanced Defending gives you the freedom to choose your tackle type. Press B to attempt a stand tackle, press A to attempt a shoulder challenge or a seal out. So this is definitely the first thing I wanted to go over because I feel like a big problem most people have when it comes to Bruiser and understanding how it works is because they don't know about Advanced Defending. And this is definitely the best way to activate Bruiser. Now, as I've done in all my playstyle tutorials, let's look at the description of Bruiser. For the basic Bruiser playstyle, it says it gives you greater strength when performing physical tackles. Then the only difference for Bruiser Plus is that it gives you even greater strength when performing physical tackles. Then I also like to take a look at EA's playstyle deep dive that they made for FC24. Which gives us a little more information on the playstyles. For Bruiser, there's not much more to look at other than this one bullet point that says it increases physicality when performing physical challenges, and if you have used Bruiser before, you may sometimes notice that it also works when you have the ball in a similar way to how the press proven playstyle works. So it's not just helpful for defending, it seems to also work for shielding, and it even works off the ball for set pieces or any situation where you're jostling for position with another player. I'll come back to this later in the video and I'll show y'all exactly what I mean. Then if you are looking to improve Bruiser to make it as good as possible, EA says to upgrade defensive awareness and strength. With that Bruiser CDM build I made in clubs, I actually got both of those attributes to 99. I could really feel the power of Bruiser. On that build, I also had 99 aggression, which I also think can make a difference. Another attribute that I think could really help is balance, because that seems to be a great combination with strength, and it will help prevent your player from stumbling and falling when in physical battles. Okay guys, now I want to show y'all the different buttons you can press to activate Bruiser, and some of these you might not know about. Of course, Bruiser is mostly for defending. But like I was saying earlier, you can use it on the ball and even off the ball when you're not really actually defending. So I'm in the practice arena, and if I click start, we can go to button help, and then I'm going to go over a few times to defending. And the first one is going to be that physical tackle, and in those in parentheses it says advanced defending only. So this is what I was talking about with Advanced Defending. You'll definitely want this on if you want to take advantage of Bruiser. And it says to press and hold A. This would be X on PlayStation, A on Xbox. And you can even just tap it. You don't really have to hold it. Tapping it will also work. So that's going to be the physical tackle. And then if we go back over to movement, the other thing is shielding. And this is similar to how press proven works. But I was using that CDM build and shielding, and press proven was activating, but also my bruiser plus, and it seems like it basically just gives you even more strength when shielding. And in one instance, I actually shoved a guy down to the floor by just shielding, which was pretty crazy. And Bruiser Plus definitely made a difference with that. So that's the left trigger on Xbox and L2 on PlayStation. Then if I go down a bit more to, at the very bottom, jostle while the ball is in the air. This is the same button, left trigger on Xbox, L2 on PlayStation. But say it's like a corner kick or a set piece situation or a goal kick, and you're like a center back and you're jostling with the striker who the goalkeeper is about to kick it up to, you can actually press LT and you'll see the bruiser pop up, and you're going to be like pushing him around and try and get space and separation so you can win that aerial battle. And this can be good even as like a striker if you have bruiser on, or even if you don't have bruiser, it'll still do it. Then if I go over to attacking advanced, it basically shows the same thing, but the action is a little bit different. Like if I go back to movement, it'll say shield right there, and then go back over to attacking advanced, it says protect ball, but it's still the same thing. I guess this is technically when you actually have the ball at your feet. Left trigger, pull and hold. And then if I go down to where's it at, right here, shield, step in, and push back, left trigger. So all of that will activate bruiser. For some reason it doesn't do it every time, because I feel like it's mostly for press proven, but bruiser really does help. Y'all could see it activate over my head. I don't know why it's really listed under defending then, because it doesn't just work for defending, it works for other stuff. So maybe it should actually be like a physical playstyle. I now want to show y'all some examples of me using Bruiser Plus in this practice arena with Rudiger. He's got Bruiser Plus and Rafinha has the ball and he's going to be dribbling at me. I'm going to be controlling Rudiger. And one thing I do want to mention, Bruiser is not like the best when a dribbler is running right at you. It is the best when you're trying to chase a defender down or shoulder to shoulder with a defender, and that's really where you'll bump them and get that shoulder to shoulder contact, and it's going to work best. A lot of times if a dribbler's running right at you and you press the A button on Xbox or X button on PlayStation for the physical tackle, you'll kind of just go in for a basic tackle, almost like an automatic tackle. So let me actually see if I can get an example of that where it doesn't activate Bruiser. So he's going to run right at me and I press A and it kind of just does that automatic tackle. Let me see if I can do it again. Press A again and it's just not really activating. I'm going to hold it, see if it does anything, and I just lock onto the ball and just get that auto tackle. So in a lot of situations, if a dribbler is running right at you, you really shouldn't press the physical tackle button. You should just go for a stand tackle, or even a slide tackle will be best. It's going to be way better when you're chopping someone down or shoulder to shoulder with someone. So let me see if I can get an example of that now. So he's running and I'm kind of chasing him back, and then bang, I win the ball like that. That's how I use Bruiser the most. Let me see if I can get it from this angle. Let him dribble, and then Bruiser, and then boom, I take that. Let me see if I can get a Bruiser where I'm coming kind of towards him, but more of an at an angle instead of straight on. See, there you go. There's Bruiser activating. But for some reason, straight on, a lot of times it just doesn't do anything. Again, there it is again. I'm curious if I can now get Bruiser activated when I have the ball with Rudiger. So I'm just going to hold the left trigger down and shield and see if I push back. Oh, it instantly activates right there. And I do think a little bit of agility and balance comes into play here, and then having press proven. Like if you were to have like a build or a card with press proven plus and Bruiser plus, the shielding is probably as good as possible, especially if you get some high attributes that benefit those playstyles. So yeah, there it is. The Bruiser is activating when shielding. Now for off the ball, I want to see if I can replicate what I was talking about when it comes to activating Bruiser. All right, so right here I have a set piece and you'll see that the Bruiser was actually activating. But that is going to do it for this Bruiser playstyle tutorial in FC25. I hope you found this video helpful, and let me know in the comments some other playstyles you'd like to see me go over. Make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out.